Hi, everybody. So, I am here to tell you how to be organized before college. I feel like because of a lot of the times you're junior and your senior year, you're piled up with a lot of responsibilities. There's a lot of pressure from your parents. And then, not to mention, too, you still have to do college scholarships, college applications, where you're going to live in the dorms, like your parents. If you have a car, you're going to buy a car, and all sorts of things. And it could be kind of tedious and overwhelming. So, I'm here to help. And we're going to tell you how to stay organized before college. So I believe you can do it. Tú lo puedes hacer. Yo creo en ti. But your senior year of high school, you have to, like I said, keep track of new responsibilities, apply to college or trade schools. You still have to worry about your personal health. And I feel like this is a time when childhood obesity really starts because people just decide to get fast food and not really like plan and take care of themselves and their meals. So I suggest, as always, like learn how to cook. I know we want a girl boss, but learn how to cook and how to plan your meals throughout the week. There's a lot of different tips, and I can share my own tips as well, but learn how to do that so that you don't buy a lot of fast food. And then you're going to also have to worry about your grades in your senior year because even though you got accepted into that college, your senior year grades still determine whether or not they will like continue with the acceptance. I've had a couple of friends who their grades in their senior year were like all C's and some even failing, and like that college, that school decided to revoke their acceptance. They were like, no, you can't do that. Also, where you're going to live in college, like during that college time, scholarships and financial aid, because I know the FAFSA has changed, so I really can't give any tips on that. I will just say my experience with FAFSA, but it's still really important to know. And growing up to be a responsible person. Reminder, 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 you have to take care of yourself. So you may have to limit your screen time. Some people watch 20 hours of television every week, and that's a lot. And we already stare so much at the screens, the computers, your phone, and they play a lot of video games in the week. And I'm not saying to not do the things you enjoy, but maybe you have to step away from that and just lay on your bed with a good sleep, like a good face mask. So the self-care checklist, right, is to have a good sleep, to meditate. You don't have to if you don't want to, but like, can you even sit there for a while and not do anything? Exercise is really important. Go for a walk. Please, please, please go for a walk. Reading a book. Again, I understand if you can't read a book if your brain is completely fried from reading and being overstimulated by television. So, but I would read a book now that I don't have school. Eating healthy, as always, eating healthy is super, super important. Know how to alimentarte, like know how to feed yourself and what your body needs. Like, especially with me, like I have eczema, and so I know I need to eat more fruits and vegetables that are better for my skin. And as always, as always, as always, drink a lot of water. Cut the sugar out of your diet. Don't drink soda. Eliminate soda. So, as I am telling you all these responsibilities, I need you to understand that you need an agenda. You have to set aside a time of the week, a time of the day to make sure that you check off your to do list, that you check your agenda to see what's for tomorrow, the next day, so on and so forth. It's so, so vital. I have two agendas now as an adult, and one of them is both of them are from Passion Planner, but I really, really like Passion Planner, the daily one. Hashtag not sponsored. So please, if they want to sponsor me, they can. That would be cool. Because I'm broke. But anyways, some of the things that I do is say what I'm gonna do. So my to-do list and everything, how the hourly works, my gratitude affirmations, and when I went to the gym as well. And then there's a little sticker. So that's just me trying to get everything into. And I'm not the best. I'm not always dedicated to it, but I try my best. And also I scrapbook in mine because again, it just helps me in like keeping joy in my life. But that's something that I do for myself. And then I also have, so that's the daily one. And then I also have my weekly one. So my weekly one helps me see the future and everything because sometimes I need to break tasks down. So that's why I need my daily one and that what I have to do. And I also want a scrapbook, so I can't do that in my weekly one because there's just a lot of writing to do over the whole week overview. And so that's what I do. That everybody's different. So if you don't want to do two agendas, that's perfectly fine. But that's just me in my opinion. Again, you need an agenda. I do not care that you have to figure that out. You have to figure out what works best for you. I need a lot of reminders because I have a very like attention deficit like brain. So I have to have a paper copy and an online, like Google Map, not Google Maps, Google Calendar, and then also have a big overview calendar in my room with expo markers. So whatever works for you, that would be great. I know for me, for my overview calendar, I also put what day the rent is due as well. One of the reasons that I really, really like the weekly calendar is because it helps me review when I can study and for what. So I don't study every day for the same topic, but it does help me. For example, like Sunday, I'm going to do um, like the first half of my college application because it's only filling in demographic info. Monday, I'm going to do the intro paragraph to my thesis. Tuesday, I'm going to do my assignment, like the beginning part. Wednesday, I'm going to do laundry. Thursday, I'm going to do this. Friday, I'm going to do the second part of my college application. Saturday, I'm going to do the second part of my scholarship essay, the like first body paragraph, things like that. That's how you break it down. And so that was just an example, and we can go back to like a video in the future about how I study and how I did that, and to give you like an actual example. But that is just an example of how you can do things. Here are some things that I want people to know, and it's the negative side, I'm sorry, but things that no one tells you. It costs money to apply to college. It costs money to submit your application to each and every college. Here in Texas, it costs $90 to submit your application. And if you get denied and you don't get accepted into that school, they do not refund you for that money. So do with that what you will. Again, blame Ronald Reagan. That's what he did. But it costs money to send your scores to each college. So if you take the SATs and your college needs it, or like let's say all of the colleges that you need it, and you have to send it to 5 schools, you have to send your scores to each and every school, and you have to pay to send it, like to each and every school, and it's a different fee for each and every school. Also, sometimes you may have to stop hanging out with your friends in order to get work done, to get your responsibilities at home done. And I know it must really suck and must really hurt, but there has to be a balance because you can't hang out with your friends like every single day and avoid all your responsibilities. But what if, let's say, you go to the library together? Okay, that's cool. Or you guys cook together or whatnot, or have lunch together. That's really cool. And so once you start doing that and managing your time, it can really build a nice foundation with your friendships. And then not only that, it will like prepare you for the future so that you can make friends as an adult as well. Also, it costs money to go out of state schools. It costs more money for tuition. So here in Texas, it is usually about $10,000 for public schools. And if I go out of state to the University of Southern California, it was $60,000 for tuition. So it just depends on where you are if you're out of state. However, there are some positive things to think about. There is a thing called fee waivers, and there are only some students that qualify for it. So if you are a low income student like me, I am severely poor, you can apply to them, and that applies to your college applications. But you have to ask your counselor. But I believe every school is different, every high school at least. So definitely ask your counselors for that. The counselors will not come to you to give you that fee waiver. You have to go and ask because they just have too many students in a public school to keep up with everybody. You will realize who your real friends are and who you should want to hang out with because unfortunately not everyone has our best interests and it can be really like painful, but maybe someone doesn't really want to go to college, and if that's like your core belief and you're okay with them not going to college, but that's fine because obviously like that's their decision. But if they encourage you to also not go to college and that's like your core belief, maybe you shouldn't be friends with them. But also being organized helps you plan to succeed and minimize all stress and anxiety. And so please remember that when applying to colleges because this is a fun brand new experience and you're going to make really nice friends or at least really great experiences. Again, hashtag not sponsored. I love my daily agenda because it gives me the ability to put my game changer goal and then I'm like, I see a lot of blank pages. Y'all didn't see that. My game changer goal and my personal things to do, my work things to do, free space to grow, self maintenance of the day, and all sorts of things. So I'm going to show you one that I like because y'all are going to judge me if you see a blank one. I'm trying to turn a lot. Anyways, okay. So for example, like for this one, it says my game changer goal. I didn't end up going to the gym that day, but I did do my business training online so I could finish it. My personal stuff was I had a Palestine discussion, catch up my agenda and library. I had to go print, organize it for writing competitions, and my Little Mexico TCU conference essay I had to submit. I had to answer some emails from my job, and then I had again free space to grow. So I usually do like bills and stuff that day. Self maintenance, which is usually like a face mask, working out, something like that. Things I learned today in one word and mood. And so I do things of high priority, medium priority, low priority, and whether it is my personal life or my work life. So that really helps me out a lot too. Again, some things I don't like putting on my weekly, hourly agenda because they're just things to do and there's not like a set time, but I'll do it anyways. That's just because of my attention deficit. So I give myself grace. I do finish it. And sometimes because of the way things work out at my job, it's like, oh, I get to finish this personal thing like really early at lunch, but I scheduled it for 6 p.m. to do it at home. Well, why would I, like I just can't do that. So I do my just to-do list instead for certain things. And then when I know I have to set time aside for something like for the gym, I do that instead. Or if I set time aside for like reading, I make sure to also do my laundry at that time because it gives me a nice brain break to process what I read. Again, a monthly to do. So I know this one's in a week setup, but for example, like every month, like you do have to, like I wash my car every month. I make sure that my tires are good, that my car is clean. And so I have like a monthly to do list. So it's like, oh, okay, I have to make sure that my car is like super clean, that my closet is all with all the appropriate clothing for the weather of that month. Because especially in Texas, like we just have very shift drastic changes. And not only that, but you have to clean out your closet. So that's another thing that you have to worry about too. So a yearly to-do list, for example, would be like in January of junior year, um, maybe look and see how you're going to study for your SATs in the summer. In February, you're going to make sure that you have a good foundation with some of your high school teachers. You can already start applying to scholarships since kindergarten, but people don't do it. So if you do it your junior year, I would start and suggest the second semester of junior year. Or well, I would suggest and do it since high school, like, but this is like the beginning of high school, like in freshman year, but this is just for anybody. March, you may be wondering and studying and already finished your SATs and everything. I took my SATs in March of junior year, but I made sure that every month from my monthly to do list would be set up, and like I had after March, I made sure to take the test a couple more times just for me and myself, and I studied more. And I had like a study plan, and I thankfully I didn't have to buy a course, but it's because I struggled so much self teaching, but I was able to do it. And then for April as well, like making sure that you have teachers who you can ask for a letter of recommendation. Make sure to always try to build a relationship with your teacher by kind of like fancying them. Like, be like, oh, teacher, did you ever write a book? Were you ever thinking of writing a book? Which books of throughout the semester did you really like? Or was there a book that you couldn't include in the syllabus? Or what history event was this and that? Something that relates to them. I am a liberal arts major, so I'm psychology and ethnic studies. So it was different for me, but it's still very important to have a timeline of how you're going to do these things. Because I took my last and final SAT in August of 2016, and that was in my yearly to do list. And then again, it just sets like a focus. So the more you write it, the more repetition you have, the more it will solidify in your brain, and then also like emphasize the importance to you so that you don't push it off and avoid it. Remember, it is about practice and it's not going to be perfect. You guys saw that in my agenda, there are some pages that are blank. I didn't write my gratitude for this day or my affirmations, but on other days, I was doing really, really well. And it's really sad and upsetting because, I'm an adult and I should be able to do these things. But unfortunately, like life just happens and you have to give yourself grace. So remember that and you try. That's what's really, really important. So that is it, everybody. I will see you for the next couple of videos. And it was made with love from older 24-year-old Cecile to high school me, back when I was in high school. I just want to say you did it. And I'm really, really proud of you. And we don't still have the greatest habits, but we still succeeded. And I just want you to know that the self love you give yourself today will help you reach your goals in more ways than one. So Thank you so much. Bye.